Hey guys, welcome to another episode of Let's Make Pokémon Sword and Shield inside of Minecraft. I have taken a bit of a break from this, not because I necessarily wanted to, but I've been a bit caught up with Pokemon Scarlet and Violet recently. It has been pretty fun. I'll give more in-depth opinions on it later in the video. I put a poll up like a few days ago, like kind of asking like what your like opinions of it were. Yeah, I'm gonna talk about it a bit later on. Videos will come out a bit more frequently now. I just took a bit of a break for Scarlet and Violet, wanted to dedicate time to it, give it a good shot. Yeah, I'm gonna start doing, like, videos again-ish. I don't know why I'm really saying it as if I've had, like, such a huge break. It's been, like 2 weeks. It was fine. I'm coming back. Yeah, this episode, it's long, but it's not necessarily, whoops, like, super full with content. It's a bit more of a small episode. We're doing the interior of like the house you start in, finally. Only took, like, 8 episodes to do, or whatever it was. But finally, I'm finally doing that, and I did the secret, like, small little path you can do, like, at the research lab. If you don't know about it, you'll see it in a few minutes. You can just skip to that if you want. But yeah, that is the basic plan for this video. Next episode, depending on how I feel and which one I want to get started, I'm either doing Route 2 or Slumbering Weald. Either one. Don't know yet, but I'll find out soon enough. Yeah, I'll just let you vibe for a bit, and I'll be back in a moment to talk about Scarlet and Violet. Alright, decent progress has been made on the house. It is a little bit slow with like the building process, but I had to do a lot of looking back and forth with this to try and get like as much detail as I could. It's very difficult to get this kind of like detail in Minecraft, hence why I put off doing the interior for so long. It's just like, it's very difficult to get it as good as you can. It does make it somewhat of a challenge, but I think I did a decent job at it, getting it into like Minecraft scale or whatever. It's not really going to be seen. It's more going to be like I'm just going to like use command blocks and stuff, like so when you go to the door, you step on a pressure plate or whatever, and you just teleport into the interior, you can teleport out, that sort of thing. The reason I didn't actually put it in the house itself is because it would be way too small and it would look really bad. I did actually attempt it. I did actually attempt making the interior in there, but it was so small and you couldn't do anything in there. It was awful. It would have looked terrible. So I thought this was just a better alternative. Even if it is less immersive, it is still good. So the lounge area is pretty much coming to a close now. I had to figure out what kind of details I wanted to put on the back walls, because you obviously can't see them in the game. So I had to be a bit more creative with that, but overall I think I did a decent job at it. I don't really know what I was doing here. Like, I was trying to make a mirror sort of thing. I was tempted to make it like the other, just like the house like flipped, so it would look like a mirror. But that honestly didn't cross my mind that much until like now. Anyway, kitchen's starting now. Yeah, I'll talk about Scarlet and Violet a bit more. I got a bit sidetracked with this, but yeah, I'll be back in a moment to talk about Scarlet and Violet. This one isn't clickbait this time. Alright, so, Pokemon Scarlet and Pokemon Violet. Best-selling Pokemon games to ever come out, like, launch day sales, I mean. Like, around launch week, it's the best-selling Pokemon game, which is pretty nuts. Yeah. I'll give my quick opinion on it, and by quick I mean it'll probably be about 5 minutes, but it doesn't matter. It is a darn good game. Like, there are a lot of positives about this game, because pretty much the only thing that people can actually complain about is its graphics and, like, performance issues and glitches. Because, look, they are prominent, they happen quite a lot, and it's not, like, it's not a good performing game in that sense. It has a lot of glitches, it is, like, low frame rate, like, at a lot of times, and the graphics aren't superb, but Pokemon has never been known to be good at graphics. So yeah, it's a bit of a, like, it's a bit of a glitchy game, and people are making fun of it for a good reason, because it is pretty funny at times, but apart from that, it is, like, one of the best Pokemon games of all time. They finally actually made a good story, which I am shocked about. Like, the story of Pokemon Scarlet and Violet is actually pretty in-depth for a Pokemon game. Especially, like, I won't spoil, but it is a good story. Most of the new Pokemon I like. My newest second favorite Pokemon is from Scarlet and Violet. It's a new Pokemon. And that's pretty hard to get, to be honest. It's pretty hard to beat those. But yeah, I really do enjoy the game. Yeah, I hope, like, spoils aren't, like, a super huge issue. You know, I'm just gonna, like, say some things. I'll put, like, a little, like, spoiler warning or whatever. And then just, like, skip to the time that I write on the thing. Or, not write, but, like, put on the screen. Just skip to that time, and that'll be the time when I stop talking. Story's really good. Arvin's story was probably the best, just because he's, like, a very heartfelt character, and it was, like, with, like, the Mabostiff. It was pretty good, and it made sense with, like, the professor and being alone. It was, I don't know, it was a very good story. I like it a lot. Most of the Pokemon of this game, a bit weird. They are a bit strange, but they are pretty good. Like, I do like quite a few of them. I am, like, my playthroughs, how I do them usually, is I only use, like, new Pokemon of that generation. It's called a generational playthrough. That's, like, what the actual term is. But yeah, I honestly, like, I enjoyed it. The Pokemon team I'm using is Meowscarada, which is the final evolution to Sprigatito. I'm using Baxcalibur, which is the pseudo-legendary of the game. Oh, I don't want to forget anyone. Ceruledge, I'm using as well. I'm using Iron Valiant, which is the future form of Gallade and Gardevoir mixed together. If you couldn't tell by now, I'm playing Violet. I have Iron Thorns, which is the future form Tyranitar. Which is the Pokemon that got my second favorite of all Pokemon, which is pretty cool. And then there's one other that I cannot remember at the specific point in time. Oh yeah, Tinglu, which is one of the legendaries, like the side legendaries of the game. It's the Moose, or yeah, whatever you want to call it. Pretty cool. I like them a lot. Yeah, I enjoy them quite a lot. It's a good team. It's pretty, like, I don't know what I'm doing. These things aren't scripted, I'm just saying off the top of my head. But yeah, it was pretty good. What else is there to talk about the game? I don't know. I mean, yeah, graphics-wise, it wasn't amazing, but I will say I liked a lot of the towns. Like, the towns looked really nice, and the themes were good as well. I like all the Pokemon that were in the games. Like, the spread of them were pretty nice. Like, where they're all spread out and diverse and stuff. Yeah. Overall, it's a pretty darn good Pokemon game. obviously, every Pokemon game has its flaws, and these flaws are pretty prominent. But if you look past them, it's very good. Personally, probably give it like 8 out of 10. Maybe close-ish to a 9. It's like, to be like a fair judge, I'm giving it an 8, but if like I'm technically going off like my own personal interest, I'm going a 9. Because I don't really care about the glitches and stuff. It's just like just a funny thing that I don't really care about that much, but I know a lot of people do. Yeah, if I'm just going off like what I thought of the game, I'm going 9. The highest I gave Legend Arceus a 8. The only reason it didn't get a 9 is just because it's like, I just like the story of this more. Anyway, I've been talking for long enough. Video is close to done, so I'll wrap it up soon. If you want to like ask more questions about like Scarlet and Violet to me, like about my opinion on certain things, go in the comments and ask. But yeah, I'll be back to wrap up the video shortly. Alright, the video is coming to a close very soon, the time-lapse is almost over. Like I said, it isn't a huge video, there isn't a huge amount of content going on, and it doesn't, like, look like there's been a huge amount of progress, like, into the world, like, at face value. But this did, like, this video took me as long as a regular video would take. Like, the Wedgehurst thing, like, building it up and stuff, like, all the different buildings, that took about 3 hours. This took about maybe an hour and 45 minutes. It's half the time, but it's like a lot less. You can see a lot less of what's happened, because there isn't really that much. But it's still a decent amount of my time, and the editing process still took about the same amount of time as any other video would. Anyway, I do hope you enjoyed. Like I said, next episode will either be Route 2 or the Slumbering Wheel. I'm not sure which one I'm going to do yet, but it will be one of those two. The interiors of all the buildings and stuff, I'm likely going to do the rest of them off camera, or I can just dedicate a very big video to a bunch of interiors, but that seems boring, so I'm probably just going to do them all off camera. The interiors that I'm mainly going to focus on is the main buildings, and I'll work on like all of the side buildings later down the track when the project is like done, pretty much. But yeah, so like I said, hope you enjoyed. I'll see you in a few days for the next episode. Should be coming out on Sunday, so stay tuned for that. Anyways, have a good day or evening or whatever, and I'll see you bozos later. Goodbye.